sustainability strategy is really an all-encompassing plan. We've set some pretty big goals around being carbon neutral in our products and operations by 2040, and the plan to eliminate tailpipe emissions from new light-duty U.S. vehicles by 2035. But sustainability is really a much bigger topic. It covers everything from energy efficiency and water efficiency in our facilities. We focus a lot on waste elimination. We have a renewable energy goal. And so sustainability is really tied directly into our business strategy and ultimately a growth and value plan for the company. So one of the great things about the role of the Chief Sustainability Officer, it really covers and touches all parts of the business, both internally and externally. So in order to accomplish these big goals, it's really all about collaboration, working with our design engineers up front on how to build sustainability into our products, working with our purchasing and supply chain, both on new materials and new technologies with suppliers and also their sustainability plans. And then throughout the company, everything from design, creative design and selection of materials to our facilities and how we drive energy efficiency, water efficiency into our business. We had set an initial goal in 2016 of being 100% renewable across the globe by 2050. With a lot of hard work and a lot of collaboration, we've actually overachieved that goal in the U.S. and we'll have 100% of the energy needed to run our facilities sourced, but with renewables next year in the United States. Our waste diversion goals is one of the ones that we're very proud of the fact that we've overachieved it 2 years in a row by diverting over 90% of our waste from landfills. And one of the things that, when you look at that number, it's really staggering. We've diverted over 1.19 million metric tons of waste from going to a landfill. And if you want to think about how large that is from a scale standpoint, that's over 418,000 Silverados. When you think about our facilities alone, our focus on energy efficiency, water efficiency, waste elimination, it's really the little details that we do every day to ensure that we're accomplishing those long-term goals. Small things like monitoring the temperature controls in our facilities, or making sure that when the plant's not running, that we're shutting down the equipment properly. All of those things help us achieve our overall targets. Our structural cost and how that plays into the overall cost of the vehicle is extremely important. So when we talk about what we can do from a energy reduction, water reduction, or waste elimination, all of those, they're not just good for the environment, but they're good for the overall product, and they save money in the long run as well. Nextiles is a great example of us finding a partner here in our local community to be able to solve a challenge we have. After COVID, we had expired personal protective equipment that we needed to dispose of. And so by working with Nextiles, we were able to recycle over 100 metric tons of expired personal protective equipment, or PPE, to ensure that it didn't go to a landfill. Circularity is a gigantic term and a gigantic challenge. It really talks about not only it's looking at the life cycle of a product from start to end of life and ensuring that we can continue to move things back throughout the life cycle of the product. So if you think about how we choose materials, we need to choose materials that not only maybe have recycled content in them or that were made in a sustainable way, but that they also have a way for us to dispose of them at the end of life. So when we think about building circularity into our business, it's focused on everything from our batteries to ensure that our batteries do not end up in a landfill and that those precious materials can be reused. But it's also looking at how we design a vehicle. How do we make sure that we no longer just design for manufacturing or design for serviceability, but now we design for remanufacturing or disassembly so that we can actually recycle products at the end of their life. As we think about material selection, we've gone from no longer just thinking about how the material performs and then it meets the technical specifications, but now it's looking at how it's made and what happens to the material at the end of life to ensure that it's either recyclable, reusable, or at least has the lowest carbon footprint that we can find. And so we're making decisions very, very early in the design process on how to certify the materials and then make sure that they're available while maintaining that they still have the performance, quality, look, feel that we expect in our products. So we work with not only our technical engineering team, but also our creative designers to select these materials and ensure that they are performing and meeting our customers' expectations. The First Movers Coalition is a great example of collaboration. It's working with other industries, other companies, as well as our government to signal a demand to the supply chain for green materials. General Motors has signed on for both steel, aluminum, concrete, and cement that we will commit to procuring about 10% of our needs in 2030 from green options. And by working together across the industry, we're able to create a demand that ultimately will not only increase the supply, but also bring the price to a point where it's comparable to normal materials. And so it's a win-win for the entire industry and frankly, the entire country. Another great example of partnerships is we worked with a company called MycoWorks on a leather alternative, which is actually a material that comes from mushroom roots and is able to create a material that feels, looks, and performs just like leather would, but it's a much more sustainable option. We actually implemented that on a recent concept vehicle for Cadillac, and it's really exciting to see these things come to success. At GM, we fully understand the role that the auto industry plays in achieving a 1.5 degree future. We have a large scale and a large impact. Our transition to an all-electric future is going to be a key role in really accomplishing this for everyone in the future. GM has changed the world once before, and we're about to do it again as we make this transition happen.